2014, right? 2014. I'm in Cook County Jail. I'm in. I meet this guy named Ant, right? So Ant, how I meet him, I get moved on a deck. You feel me? I'm trying to stay low key. I'm trying to do my law work, so I stays in the cell all day. I tell the CR, excuse me, you know what I'm saying? Can I go take a shower? I just want to take a shower, lock back up. I don't even want to be in the day room. Most of the time, they wasn't giving me no hard time with that because all they saw me doing was reading, studying the law, right. I only need to take a break, wash my ass, and to eat. That's it. That's all. So they ain't have the COs didn't have a problem with doing that for me. So I pop out, go to shower, right back to the cell, boom, close, lock the door. So as the guy, they know I'm GD. So they come to the door and they woo, get the spill from me. Yeah, woo, I'm just trying to do this case. Woo. So brothers, they be coming to the cell asking for help with their legal work or whatever. So worried about a lawman on a deck that spreads. So somebody told Ant about me working cases in my cell. I had a cell all the way on the end. It was the last cell or the first cell, depending on which direction you was coming from. And his cell was, so you had a cell in between me and Ant's cell. So one day, Ant came to my truck hole and he said, "Bless this house." So I stopped what I was doing and I looked up because that caught my attention. First, he came with a blessing. He said, "Bless the house." Okay. That's different. Most brothers, hey, you know cases, you do cases, you know this, you know that, man, because this happened, they just get right off of today's spiel. They don't even bother, but he came with greetings, and that struck me as different and worthy of, acknowledgement. So I looked up. I said, I think I asked him, like, what you just say? And he said, he said, I blessed the cell. I blessed the house. And I'm like, So at this point, I think I put my pen down and I just sat back like this. Probably did one of these or something. Like, because I want to hear what he got to say, whatever he's finna say next. So he's, small little chit chat. He started asking me questions about his case. And so, I think maybe we talked about it, but it was that short exchange that draw us together spiritually, because he was really, now that I look back on that shit, he was reading my spirit. That's what he was standing there doing. And so, what ended up happening was he ended up saying, like, damn, he like, why you don't never be in a day room? Why you always sit in the cell? You know what I'm saying? He like, it's alright, you come out in the day room, you know what I'm saying? Come out, chill with him. So basically he had shifted the whole standing at the door talking to me like right now, like this basically how it was. I'm sitting here doing this and then you come talking to me through my chuck hole at my door. So he like, no, just come out in the day room, talk to me, So as I'm like, really don't, you feel me? Like, I don't even be getting off into all that. So I'd rather stay. He like no, come out, So I'm like, all right, man. He ended up talking me out, come out. So I had grabbed some of my law stuff to do while I'm out in the day room. And We was sitting at the table, steel table, about 4 to a table. Seat here, seat here, seat here. So I'm looking down, but I'm in the day room and I'm gangbanging. So I'm keeping the peripheral. Even though I'm doing this, I'm still observing of what's going on around me. I got this as a visual, and I can hear what's going on in back of me or around me. Okay, so as I'm writing, going through my complaint, because that's what I did. I went through every police report that I ever got for every arrest. I always went through every line, every word, everything, every discrepancy. I had it written down. So I was probably doing that, like going through an arrest report or the preliminary transcripts, and like pointing out the discrepancies in the police testimony or whatever I was doing. It was some kind of law shit. So he just sitting there looking at me like this. His head cocked like this, like one of these, like he was reading my energy. So he was like, "It's alright, man. All you gotta do is say you sorry." So shit, who you talking to? He talking about, man, it's alright, man. All you gotta do is apologize. So at this point, shit, I'm like, what the fuck is you? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but he was like, the night you got arrested, you smacked somebody with a gun. And so that completely changed the degree of my thought process. It stopped me in my tracks because I'm like, how the fuck he know that? When I got arrested, he was already on this deck. He wasn't there when I got arrested to know what happened. So how he know that? So that put me in a position where I had to humble myself because I'm like, damn, how the fuck do you know that? Right? And he was like, look, it's okay, man. All you gotta do is, like I said, but you gotta mean it though. So I did it right there. I'm like, shit, I'm sorry, shit. I ain't, you feel me? Like, motherfucker ain't really, shit get rough, but he was like, that's all. That's it. It's over. You know what I'm saying? And from that point forward, he always had my undivided attention because of that display of eminence. That's what I call eminence. Because how you gonna tell me some stuff about me that nobody else knows but me and the person that was there? And then, they end up, the police got allegations or whatever, whatnot. So, nigga, how you know? That's not even a situation where you should be doing most of the talking. When so if you ever done like that, that's somebody you need to be learning from. So that's what I did. I used that as an opportunity to tell him, man, just teach me what you know then, man. Just teach me everything what you know. And he was happy to oblige. I always gave honor and praise to the Most High, though. I can tell you that. He told me at that table, he was like, you can't hide nothing from the Creator. Everything is laid bare before the Creator, the Most High. In the spiritual realm, you can't hide nothing. Everything is laid bare. So what that did for me at that point when he said that, I was like, nigga, you know how to access? Like, what? I'm like, nigga, you finna teach me how to do that? And we started that day. We started that day. Like he waste no time. We got right to it. Like he got on my ass when about shit that I was doing wrong that I know I wasn't supposed to be doing. He says you got to stop that. I stopped doing that shit. And what was happening at that point was we had started to vibrate so high in jail. Now let me tell you something. The way that even unfolded in a hostile environment like Cook County Jail is all type of gang bang and violence shit going on could pop off at any minute. So he had to already been vibrating high by the time I even got there. So he raised my vibration up even further than what it was, and that's when I just took out. That's when I start astral projecting. That's when I start having the dreams. I start to dream things that turned into actual realities. I dreamed dreams. I had a lot of dreams about Africa, compounds in Africa. I met this guy in jail. His name was Twin. Twin was from Africa. Me and Aunt used to talk, and sometimes, after that day, I had started coming in the day room like a whole lot more. I wanted to spend as much time as I can with Aunt, so he could teach me as much as he can before they move us. You could get moved at any moment in Cook County Jail, but we was on the same location for few weeks, if not months. Like we was, because we had even both started doing, like he was already doing art, but I had started to focus less on my cases and more on my spiritual awakening at that point, because this was the most miraculous shit I ever seen. A motherfucker just pop up and tell you some shit about you that you know they should know. I want to know how you do it, and he proved to me how you can do it. Before me and him end up separating ways, that man taught me a lot of shit about the spiritual world. He taught me how people is under hypnosis, sleep, but most of it is the lack of knowledge itself. And so, yeah, and I sat back and watched Aunt say shit gonna happen this way, and within the next day or two, or later that day, the next day, 3 days from now, that shit had happened. But it was so much that he was speaking on that was happening. I was astonished. I was like, man, bro, you teaching me how to do this? Like, and yeah, what he was doing, I was picking up on. Both of our vibrations was going higher, 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 higher. I even had a dream about a CO. I had a dream about a CO. The man in the dream, it was a lot of other officers in the dream and shit. Ooh. And in the dream, you got like feelings, and the feelings is like miraculously knowing. Like it's like an inner knowing. Like you just know it. Like you feel it and know it. It ain't like having to see it to believe it. It's like you feel knowing. Like you vibrate knowing. So when you bring that back from your dream state, you be like, was that for real? And most of the time that shit end up being like for real. So you really can't hide nothing. People will get visions about you in their dreams and probably won't know what it means, but you share frequency with everybody else on the planet. It's completely ludicrous at this day and age to think that your thoughts are yours alone and you don't share them with nobody else. Everything is energy and vibrating on specific frequencies. So, and teaching me, yeah. So twin from Africa. Twin is tall, kind of stocky. You know what I'm saying? Milk dud. You know what I'm saying? Twins are kind of put you in the mind frame of the long mile, the wrong with the green mile. And so, you know, Twin walk up while I'm telling Aunt about one of them. Because at this time, I was still having Aunt to interpret my dreams. And he was like, he was teaching me good as hell. But he taught in a way like, well, he going to show you how frustrated he is with you because you should understand this shit. Like, he like, I'm steady. He like, basically at this point, why is you still bringing your dreams to me? You know everything that you should know to start interpreting it yourself. I know you know because I the one that been unlocking that for you, and I was still needing help. So I asked. One day I went to go tell him about this dream that I was having about Twin, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, Aunt. This in the day room. I'm like, Aunt, I'm like, let me holler at you about this dream that I've been having. I can't figure this one out. He like, what's up? So, Aunt coloring. He doing like a little greeting card shit. So I'm just sitting there. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no law work. I ain't got no color. Nothing. I'm talking to him now. I'm like, yeah, cause I'm excited. I'm astral. I'm using my energy to create things. I'm speaking things. And I'm seeing it manifest with, cause of what Aunt teaching me, putting your intent behind your words and your thoughts and deeds. It makes a difference. So I'm telling him about the dream Twin. And I'm like, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I had a dream that I seen Twin, but Twin didn't see me. They was on 43rd at the red line. Twin had a blue jean jacket on. He was talking to this little girl. She was black. So as I'm telling Aunt the dream, Twin walks up. So when Twin walk up, I acknowledge him. We greet each other, and then him and Aunt, they greet each other, and he like, what y'all up to? Twin was like a janitor. He was like the custodian on the deck that we was on. He'll clean up and shit. And all inmates locked up, he still out cleaning, passing shit. That was Twin. So Twin walked. He like, what y'all up to? And I'm like, shit. It's funny that you should walk up right now because I'm telling him about a dream that I had that you was in last night. And he was like, oh yeah. He was like, oh. So I start finishing the dream, and I think I might even started over. But while I'm telling them the dream, and this nigga Twin started getting, he like man, he like hey. So me and Aunt looking at each other like, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? He like, man, look, man, y'all ain't gonna believe this, man. I had the same dream last night, bro. And he finished my dream. He was talking to the girl in some kind of like Arabic or Aramaic or something, because they both was Muslims. And he was like, yeah. He was like, he was like in the Muslim schools where they from, he was their instructor, and he was talking to her in that language. He was asking her how's her sister doing, because she got a sister, and he taught both of them the language, whatever language it was, but he's telling in real life though, like he was breaking down what was going on in the dream. So at this point, even Aunt looked up. He was like, whoa. He looked at me. He was like, because Aunt was like, he was like the Morpheus. He was like my Morpheus, because Aunt used to like, he knew my potential when I didn't know my potential, and he was able to pull it out of me in a way that I needed it pulled out. Like Aunt came to me in the form of like a street nigga, like regular street nigga, brother like myself. You know what I'm saying? So when he was like, whoa. I never seen nothing like this. So then I'm like, whoa, that gave a whole different kind of meaning to the interpretation of that scripture that young men gonna dream dreams. Cause at first it's like, oh yeah, okay, everybody dreams dreams. You know what I'm saying? Young men gonna dream dreams. Okay, that ain't really nothing prophetic. But at the same time, when that happened, I'm feeling like young men will dream dreams. You gonna dream a dream somebody else having while they dreaming it. It was no other way for that to just come together like that, beautifully orchestrated by the Creator. We all ended up being at the same place at the same time to witness that kind of power, to be able to dream the same dream as somebody else while they sleep. And I had already got used to going to Ant and telling him about it. Ant used to send me to talk to people that I was seeing in my dreams. He was like, don't you think that mean you need to minister to them? Why don't you go talk to them? I was seeing people, other inmates that I never talked to because they was like some little young gang banging ass niggas, wild niggas. I see them in the dream. You see a lot of people around them in the dream. And Aunt used to tell me, like, if you remember those parts of your dream and you brought that back to your consciousness, it's something you need to figure out. And so, he say everybody is a different version of yourself. So if you looking at them and you know what I mean, like he unlocked that frequency. And so the speaking in tongues, he was like, that's your original line to your Most High. That's your original line to the Creator right there. That's your tongue, because all the languages is pretty much they created by somebody else using their intent, they sound, they vibration. You want to send a direct line to the Most High, you send your direct line to the Most High. Don't go through nobody else trying to do it. And he was helping me with being able to read energy, being able to perceive hidden intent, being able to. He used to always use scriptures a lot. He used to always use scriptures a lot to like give emphasis to something that he was trying to get me to understand. Like, for example, he'll be like, you got the same power as the one that they worship when they go into church. They telling you it's Jesus, but you got the same kind of power. Like, it's no way like you should have to open that door to know what's going on the other side of it. You should already know. Your spirit, your energy is omnipresent, is omnipotent. If you don't know, then that means you ain't tapped in to the fullest extent of your energy that you're capable of doing, because it's not nothing that you can't know. Then let's go back to how me and what the nigga said to me when we were sitting at the table. So I'm like, he can't be telling me nothing wrong. He always giving praise to the Most High. He get honor to the Most. He was using these scriptures, and I think at the time, like, I was against the Bible. So for him to be coming like this and showing me this, but still using the scriptures, I'm like, So, but and help me wake up, man. I had that dream with and Twin ended up coming telling me one day. Twin was like, I was telling about another dream I used to have in Africa, so I started describing that dream to him. He was like, you ain't gonna believe this, bruh. He was like, man, he like, from what it sounded like, you describing my father. Brown skin, fro, big African compound. I never been to Africa. I'm seeing shit in Africa in my dreams. This nigga been to Africa. He Muslim. He Islam. He a Muslim in Cook County Jail. So you feel me? Like, I mean, I wouldn't think he got no reason to lie to me, but I just explained to him about what my dream was about. So as I'm describing it, he was like, yeah, that sounds like the compound that my dad has in Africa. It's the old one though. He said he got a new one. It sounded like the old, because I described to him what I remember from the dream. Like, it's like a white stove. It's like a little round stove. It's like right up against a wall that, like, you go around that wall. It's like a long hallway, and then if you keep going, you're gonna see like a back door or some shit, and then when you turn to the right, you're gonna see a column of stairs that's going up, like a long ass column of stairs, and the paint is white, and they got like brown trim and shit. So, what else I see? Like, okay, across from the stove, then you see like a tall but round table, but it's small kind of round table, like a long, like tall, skinny, but like made of wood. So and then it's a room in the compound that's like, it got a globe in it, and it got a lot of books in it. It got a globe. It got a desk, a big desk, next to a big window, right? So when you look outside, only thing I can see is, when you look outside, you can see like like desert sand, basically. Look like desert sand. Probably got like green patches here and there, but basically. So yeah, I was explaining that, and then Twin was like, man, that sound like my dad compound. Then another dream that I had about that Twin was in. So I was in the county 2014, 2020. So I had a dream some family. I had a dream about this shit that I'm seeing now. Fuck is you talking about? I had a dream about a mechanic machine that you could drive your cars into, and it pick your cars up and drop it out to you at the sidewalk, and they got that now. I seen that not too long ago. I was like, oh man, I damn near jumped through the roof, because that was during the same time I was having all these dreams right here. And that was 2000. It was still 2023. It's January 2024 now. But when I seen that commercial on YouTube, I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's back. So the thing about it, I had a dream about some families that had to do. They was being chased by like wildfires and shit. Like, they had to be evacuated, like, out of their homes, like big ass pretty homes and shit. And they had to be relocated. And when at the time when I had the dream, I remembered so much from the dream. I was telling them names of streets, and I think like names of like some people that I was picking up energy from. So I was telling his ass about that, and he was like, yeah, he got family in all them places. That was during the time when California had caught on fire. After I had that dream, the next day it was on the news. It was on the news, the California fires, and motherfuckers was like being evacuated. And then I was sitting at the table. I was looking at Ant, and I was like, man, but at the same time, while all this is happening and being revealed to me, I don't necessarily exactly know like what it mean. This was way back then. I know it's something good. You feel me? I know it's something, but I don't exactly wholeheartedly know what it means. I'm still in the beginning stages of coming to the knowledge of what it means being woke all the way up. So, because my energy was going crazy, I was in jail. So, I had dreams about the motherfucking Cook County Correctional Officer. It was a cool ass officer that used to work the deck, right? I had a dream that he had got in trouble or some shit. Like I seen a lot of officers around him. They was like aggressive towards him in the dream. They was looking like they was trying to like, you feel me, like they fuck with him for real, for real. Like he was singled out, right? So in that dream, the feeling and the emotion that you feel in a dream, like when I was bringing that back and I was going asking people about it, they would confirm for me like what I see in a dream. Cause you can't give it away. You can't ask a motherfucker no direct question and think they gonna give you an unbiased answers. So I had to come up with a way to ask people questions to get the answers without concealing the reason why I need the answers for. Ain't no motherfucker gonna. How you think a motherfucker gonna respond to you in Cook County Jail? You telling them, yeah, I just had a dream about your mama, your sister, your brother, and your stepdaddy that I ain't never met, but I'm describing them to you though. You like, yeah, I know, yeah, what, yeah, I know that. That's my mama, that's my sister, and I'm like, oh shit, how you know that? Man, shit. Eventually, I sent it in a dream, bro, and then like. I remember this one little brother when I had told him I sent this whole family. We was in church. He was on the front row, turned around looking, and I was in the second row. I was sitting next to his mama, was sitting on the left side of me, and there was a bunch of little kids that was on the second row with me. And while we sitting in church, there was a drunk motherfucker that came. He tried to fight me. It was a drunk motherfucker. He come like so. That was one of the dreams I took to Aunt, cause I ain't know what it means. So when I say it was like a young gangbang motherfucker, that was Shorty. That he was one of them. I ain't fuck with. I won't fuck with them niggas. I ain't talk to them, none of that shit. Mutual respect. What's up and keep it moving. That's it. But when that dream happened, it changed because Aunt wasn't backing down. He was like, "Go talk to him, bro." So I went to go talk to him, you know what I'm saying? The shit felt weird as hell, just sparking a conversation out of nowhere with niggas that you don't usually talk to. So, but in me asking him questions, what I discovered was, first of all, that not only was that his family, and he said like that was his stepdaddy used to always get drunk, and he used to always fight with his mama, and his mama got his kids, his brother kids, and his sister kids. So his mama got a lot of kids, and she keep them at church all the time. So this after I went to go talk to him, he telling me all this. I'm like, so I'm feeling even more empowered because it's being confirmed for me without him knowing. But I'm excited than the motherfucker. The more he talk, he describing my dream. I'm getting excited. I'm getting empowered. Because it's making me give more attention to what a dream is and versus what it's not now. Because if I'm able to access information that I don't understand, but when I talk to people and they like, yeah, this and this that and this, and so now you making my dream make sense. At that point, Shorty told me that like he like, yeah, I be reading the Bible. He jumped and he was on the top bunk. He went to go get his Bible and he was pointing out the scriptures. He's like, yeah, look, I be reading, I be trying to figure this shit out too, bro. I be like, ooh, yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then so when I leave to go talk from him, I wanted to go tell Aunt what happened. Aunt like, see, you got a job to do. And I'm like, damn, you go just push a motherfucker out there. But yeah, because that's how it gotta happen. Ain't no, you feel me? This is what we been living for all this time, being prepared for this moment in time right now. Because, like, another dream. Let's see about another. I had dreams about my family while I was locked up. I could see them. They can't see me. I can hear them. They don't know I'm there. I can see them. But this dude the dream though. So that go along with astral projecting, because then I get on the phone with my family. I'll be like, "What y'all doing?" "Oh, we having a picnic. We having a barbecue." Damn, that's what I just seen in my dream. All y'all was together. Who got on purple? Who got on all yellow? Who got on orange with white shoes? Oh, what's your name over there? Ooh, wait, why? Oh, I'm just guessing. Knowing I'm lying, I just seen all this in my dream. Who trying to cook something with eggs? Who just cracked the egg open out the refrigerator? Chhavi, how you know that? It was a guess. But the power that was being unlocked for me and dreaming through what Aunt was teaching me. His teaching to me was based on him first demonstrating that you can know something about me that ain't no fucking way you should be able to even know to begin with. But instead of going into my ego, cause I really could have got on some, who the fuck is you, the police? Is you 12? You sent here to ooh. But I ain't do none of that. I'm like, shit, this got to be divine. That was my first thought. And he ended up unlocking so much for me. I'm glad that happened. I'm eternally grateful. I had fucked up. I had to meet him in jail, but that just go to show you the false niggas that's out here. You got false prophets out here. I met a real one in jail. I had a dream about, so back to that, so the CO, he was a young brother, kept his hair cut low, you know what I'm saying? Cool as hell, quiet, never seen them beating up inmates, never see him like, you know what I'm saying, always cool as hell. So when he come to work on his shift, he let out the top deck and the bottom deck. Well, it's only supposed to be one deck out at a time. So, only thing he asks, like, man, bro, like, he like, y'all already know how I do. You feel me? I'm finna let y'all out. Don't front me off. Don't get to fighting or doing no stupid shit that's gonna bring no heat down on me, cause y'all ain't supposed to be out at the same time. In jail, you can't do nothing but honor that. So, if you in a mob, if you want to defend or you want to sit, if one of your guys get out of line, we got to deal with that in-house so it don't get to police, cause shit, most of the niggas I fuck with is on the top deck. I don't talk to these niggas that's on the bottom. I want to be out with them. You see what I'm saying? If it's a nigga up here on the top deck I need to sit down with and compare notes with, in this law shit I need to woo. So anyway, yeah, so he was going against the jail code by having both decks out. So I had a dream about him. I had started dreaming about him. I had more than one dream. So one day I had a dream, and that's the one that all them officers was in. Like they was in the room, and like they wasn't really fucking with him. You could tell the energy in the room. Like they wasn't the other COs. Like they wasn't fucking with him, right? Then you could tell like it was an energy that came in the room that was like the boss energy, like the female. She was a female because she had on a white shirt. I couldn't really make out faces. Like faces was like kind of blurred out in the dream, but the uniform, you can see the uniforms. You can see motherfuckers' body language, like so I'm in the dream, but I'm able to see all this. I'm able to feel it. So when I wake up, I still can feel the dream. So he come to work. Oh man, let me holler at you. I forgot his name. His name might come back to me while I'm telling the story. So I'm like, let me holler at you real quick. He like, hold on, not right now. Hold on. You feel me? It's kind of odd because he don't mind stopping to talk to inmates. He ain't one of them COs that's gonna keep walking when he hear you talking to. He give you respect, and that's why he got respect back in the jail. And so. Cause he was doing his count. He had just came in, and he was doing his count. That's one thing you know. Like they don't fuck up their count. So he was like, hold on, real quick. And so after he went to go put his count in, he came right back to my cell. He like, what up? Now it's quiet on the deck. Nobody's out. The TV off. He slid on my cell. He like, what's up, Williams? And I'm like, you good? He like, yeah. Like, yeah, but shit gonna be different from now on. I'm like, what you mean? He like, man, shit, I'm just saying, shit, it ain't gonna be the same like how it used to be, you feel me? Shit, y'all, you know, all the, you know, shit, motherfuckers fronting me off. I gotta do what I gotta do, you feel me? So, I'm like, you gotta, so top deck ain't coming now, huh? He like, yeah, shit, that's, you know, we gotta let shit cool down. That's what he telling me. So I'm like, as he talking to me, I'm feeling like in my chest kind of area, like I'm feeling like my energy going crazy. So I'm like, you got in trouble? He like, well, something like that. You could not necessarily, but motherfucker. So I'm like, all these flags popping up, like my dream coming true. My dream. So in my mind, while he talking to me, I'm thinking, what else in the dream can I structure into a question to ask him to confirm for me what I see in the dream? Because this is what psychics do. We gotta ask. So I'm like, yo, supervisor tripping, ain't she? It's a bitch, ain't it? He like, and now he looking like he like, yeah. So he started taking a step or two back from my cell. He like, man, how you know on all that? So I just tell him like shit. I'm like shit. Everything laid bare before the Creator. You can't hide nothing. Then some tell me, you been talking to the Creator lately too. And he was like, yup. He was like, and then I told him, I'm like, you want to quit smoking? I never even knew the nigga smoked. He say, man, how you know that, man? He like, yeah, man, I started praying last week, man. I told God, man, take these cigarettes up out my life, man. But he like, damn, he like, how you know that? Oh, this is a correctional officer talking to an inmate. His next words after that, he was shit, if you got power like that, you can't get the lotto number. Then that got me thinking like, oh shit, this shit have been popping up for a nigga. I probably can. Let me see. Let me go ask Aunt. So I'm like, Aunt here what's going on. Aunt, displeased. He not, you gonna use your gift for that? He like, you gonna use your gift for go get a lottery number? He like, you way bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? You way bigger than a lottery number. You know what I'm saying? So he got on my ass about that shit. He was like, nah, no, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't use your gifts for. So I'm like, alright, like fuck the lotto number. So, but the thing about it was, what I seen in the dream was his ass his supervisor got on his ass for letting us out, because in the jail that's a security breach like that. But yeah, I mean, it was so much energy that I was channeling when I was in Cook County Department of Corrections. It was phenomenal. You can't explain. Like, I can't make this shit up. Shit, that's what I was experiencing. And then after these kind of experiences, ain't no motherfucker finna talk. No amount of your talking is gonna convince me that I didn't experience what I'm explaining to you right now. Cause it don't work that way. I have the experience. That means I have the knowledge. I got the power to remember. Yeah. So yeah, man, you feel me? Like, motherfucking, and taught me how to access that direct line, the direct line of the communication between you and your creator is the energy that gives your heart its beat. That energy is connected to everything, and when you start giving it attention, then the logic side of your brain is able to acknowledge what haven't been being given energy to. That's the electromagnetic side of your existence, like Dr. Chhavi talked about. That's where she left off on. Man, it's like I wasn't even in jail, man. That's like I was being trained to be a spiritual, like I'm woke now, though. It's all about frequencies.
Destroyed it. And so madness will be over your mental state. The Lord will smite thee with madness and blindness. Now keep in mind now, this is almost every curse here begins with the Lord. Let me remind you again of what the Lord means. It is a person of authority, sometimes used to mean sir, but most properly denoted ownership and mastery. So these people were what? They call themselves being an owner of a slave, or now you own somebody that you kidnapped. Somebody that you have no authority over. You own them though. You are their master now. So that's what they had our ancestors calling them. Master. Yes, a sir. Yes, a ma'am. You ain't no damn ma'am. You damn sure ain't no master. Please don't make me go there.
Go there. Go there.
Calm down. Hold on, y'all. Let
go there.
Sage.
She said, "Get the sage."
See, the more that I dive into these things, it's becoming so apparent what these people have done, in terms of spiritual manipulation and these rituals that they did against us and how they played on our minds to make us read these texts and accept it. You still have people, especially within the church structure. We're talking about the melanated man and woman, and this is, let me just put this disclaimer out there. I have people who are European who watch my channel, and I do not deter you away from my channel. I welcome you as long as you are willing and able to accept the truth for what it is. And as long as you are willing and able to be a part of putting the intentions out there to break these cycles that many of your ancestors have perpetuated against the melanated man, woman, and child. Because their ultimate goal, if you do not break the cycle throughout your family of the hatred against the melanated man, woman, and child, then the ultimate goal of the so-called powers that were is that your children will help them to continue this hatred against us. They will try and use your children and indoctrinate your children to believe that they are superior to the melanated man, woman, and child. And that is so far from true. Let's keep going.
Ain't it dope? Far from true.
So the next part here says, so in terms of the madness, yes. And that's where it comes in at, okay? You got all of this bottled up energy, all of this anger that cannot be directed towards the true perpetrator. And so what happens is the man, let's just speak on the masculine and feminine energy, because this is another part of where the enemy was targeting. The enemy wanted to bring an imbalance in the masculine and feminine energy of the melanated man, woman, and child. So how did they emasculate the man? Well, first by having you worship and send your prayers and your praises and your reverence to a homosexual, Caucasian, false god. And you say, well, how does that affect someone's sexuality or their masculinity if they're praying to a homosexual European false god? Well, part of it is that, let's just consider if you was praying to a demon. Are you not going to embody the energy and the spirit of that demon? Are you not going to embody wickedness and evil in your heart if you are praying to a demon?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. If you are praying and sending your energy to a false Christ, who the person whose image that you have in your mind, that was indoctrinated into your mind for many generations now, is that depiction of Caesar Borgia, who was a homosexual, then likely you're going to start picking up on some feminine tendencies, because that is the God that you give reverence to. Just like if you was to give that energy to a demonic god.
Same thing.
So with that being said, that's one of the ways that they emasculated the melanated man.
We're not finna argue
Another
with
way
these
that they
people
did
no
it was
more.
through fear tactics. As long as they take away his ability to protect his woman and his children by murdering him and doing horrific acts to him or to his or in front of him, like doing horrific acts to his wife in front of him, raping her, okay, killing her, or snatching his children away from him, feeding them to alligators as alligator bait, cutting off his own genitals. They had many different ways of emasculating the male in the melanated community. And so what happened is, psychologically, it began to play on him, where he began to believe that he had no power. And a man that believes that he has no power and he has no ability to protect those that he loves, we talking about the wife, and his seed, his offspring, then what happens is subconsciously he goes into a way of thinking that says, I must nurture myself. I gotta heal myself. And so he goes into that feminine energy that needs that mothering. He needs to be healed. He needs to be rocked. But there's no one around to do it. You know why? Because the feminine, this is where we get into the feminine energy being off balance. The woman is now in survival mode. So she's no longer concerned about being the nurturer. She's no longer concerned about being the healer. to her masculine counterpart, now she's more concerned about survival. I got to make sure my baby stay alive. I got to make sure you don't get killed off. So no, this ain't about me. I'm not in my emotions right now. I can't help you to heal from that. You got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps because we got to live. So now the woman is in survival mode, and anytime you're in survival mode, you're in protective mode, and that is naturally the energy that the man possesses.
Yeah.
Protection. But because he's been stripped of his authority to do so through the inciting of fear by the enemy, then the woman goes into protection mode. So now you got a feminine energy who is emasculated, who's now in her masculine energy. Then you have a man who is now in his feminine energy, where he is highly emotional and he doesn't know what to do with those emotions, because if he directs it towards the true enemy, then he will likely lose his life as a result of it. This is the illusion that they have handed to us. And I say it's an illusion largely because if the melanated man and woman actually came together, really the enemy, those who are in a position of so-called authority, yes, they are European. We already know that, okay? Y'all know that. They only populate 10%. They're only 10% of the population. The rest of the earth is melanated people. That's a fact. So these people knew that they were already at a strong disadvantage physically because we outnumbered them we was too deep. We was deep, but even greater than that, we had a divine connection. We knew our power. We knew our strength. We knew who we was. We knew that we possessed the ability to shift the energy. We knew our connections to everything that exists around us. That's why when you went off into different parts of the land, we got pyramids up everywhere. We got, you can look into various areas of the world where, the hieroglyphs, you'll see that we was always connected. We understood the stars. We understood the planetary shifts. We understood the seasons. We understood the circle of life. We was completely in alignment with everything that exists around us. Even here on this soil, the native Indians, who is us, also understood our connection to nature and how nature is healing and how you can hear the birds. The birds are messengers, and how you can sun gaze and how you can speak to the water and how you can, it's so many things that we have forgotten because these people needed to redirect our energy and make us believe that we was cursed. Which they did. They put a spell over us. Ritualistic spell. And this is why in the age of Aquarius, this is the time of the awakening. Because what does a spell do? A spell puts you to sleep. But not only did they do this spell work and this ritual, it was also to inflict harm and pain over us so that we would end up having this post-traumatic slave syndrome. We would end up having these stressors that would be passed on from one generation to the next. And so because the feminine energy for many, many generations has been in her masculine, too far into her masculine energy. The masculines, the men, have been too far into their feminine energy. You have these two energies that come together to try to create offspring. And what happens over time, the DNA structure begins to shift.
Yep. Because
subconsciously, the masculine, the man, is now feminine. Even if he's not a homosexual, he's now feminine because he has been stripped of his ability to protect his family. And the feminine energy subconsciously is now masculine. And so she's now in this energy of survival mode, trying to take care of the home and take care of her children. We're going to get back to these curses because there's more here. But what happens is genetically, you end up shifting the genetic blueprint through the subconscious suppressed confusion that these people have placed over us. And what happens is over time, generations to come, you end up bearing daughters who act like men, like literally, who say, well, since I was born, I've been a lesbian. And men who act like women, who say, since I was born, I've been a homosexual.
She right.
But it's because of the generational curses. Let's keep going. And thou shalt grope at noonday, As the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. So pretty much saying you're gonna, daytime, nighttime, you're gonna always be in this energy of, first of all, as the blind gropeth in the darkness. So there's something about your eyes, a veil being placed over your eyes so that you cannot see. Even when things are fully illuminated before you in the daytime, you're still going to be groping about as if it's darkness, because you still cannot see. When it's right there in front of your face and the answers are right there in front of your face, you're still not going to be able to see it, because you've been indoctrinated and spellbound so heavily up underneath this dark magic and spell work that these people have done, that you will look at a scripture and say, oh, it says Yeshua was bronze feet and woolly hair. No, he was white. So let's move on. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Did that not happen when these kidnappers came over here? We had our unions, our divine unions, and they came in because they can't get enough of the melanin. Okay, it's something about us that they just can't help. They just got to touch us. They got to rape us. Okay, jealous of the men, insatiable sexual appetites for the women. Even though they'll put us down in the public, in the media, and say that we ain't nothing, we ain't worth nothing. But yet they couldn't keep their hands off of us, even though their wives was laying right next to them when they called themselves being our so-called master.
Tell them something.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. So that's another curse that they ultimately played out. They created the curse and then they fulfilled it. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. What house did we build? The entire country of America. Hello? We ain't just talking about their individual homes that we built, because that's also, but we built the entire country, and still have not been able to find home here, because these people have placed themselves in a position of so-called authority to say that we're going to always remain on the bottom. And even if you do purchase a home, you can have the whole house and have, own the entire house. You done paid it off and paid all of that extra interest, well over what it was worth, and you still don't own it if they decide to say they want to come and take the land, because if you don't own the land, then you don't own the home. So that's another curse that they placed over us and played it out. Let's keep going. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof. So you're going to plant all of these vineyards, and you're still not going to reap the harvest of those things that you planted. You're going to have to pick them. During slavery, what they say, you're going to have to pick those things. Even now, even past the physical, the slavery that you could see clearly, because slavery still exists. These people still, they played with the minds. I told you all in terms of the last message that I did, the 13th Amendment, they still have slavery very much so in existence. It's just, it has a different face, but it's still the same bondage. Okay?
Involuntary servitude.
That the only way that you can remain a slave is, and I'm just looking for the 13th Amendment, but I don't have that paper here with me, so I'm just going to...
Being duly convicted of
that they can actually enforce slavery as if you were convicted of a crime. And then at that point, you would be a slave again. So if you get convicted, y'all know a conviction is anything. You can get a damn ticket, and that's a conviction. As long as the judge finds you guilty, a suspended driver's license, get pulled over for that, that's a conviction. So who is mostly targeted when it comes to these so-called convictions? The melanated man, woman, and child. And so that was their wordplay to trick you and to create another illusion into thinking that they had actually done something noble and had freed the melanated man and woman from their kidnapping, okay, from the bondage that they had placed over the melanated man and woman. But it was just wordplay. So let's keep going, because there's certain things in here that I really want to touch on. So we spoke about that. Okay, thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Okay, so they're going to take everything that you have of value. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Did that not happen to us? But see,
Their queen is dead. What does this mean?
This AI tool makes it fast and easy to create t-shirts that can earn you thousands of dollars per month. You won't have to handle it.
hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Chhavi Zaine, and I'm coming on to bring a message for you all in regards to some shifts that have taken place as of yesterday. Okay, mainly surrounding the death of Elizabeth, who was considered to be the queen of the queen of the United Kingdom. Okay. And so I want to go off into some things that some of you may be privy to and some of you may not have any idea about. Okay, about a year ago, this knowledge actually was handed to me, and I didn't really know what to do with it because I did not have this channel at that time. And I expressed it on Facebook actually, and it was completely crickets. So I know people was looking at me as if, okay, this woman she's lost her mind, right? Of course, those of you who are familiar with the awakening, you know that when we start to see things through our spiritual eyes, those who cannot see, everything sounds crazy to them. And so I kind of just let that, die out. And so I didn't do anything with that information until now. Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Chhavi Zaine, and I'm coming on to bring a message forward for those of you who still have many questions in terms of your spiritual path. You might have questions in regards to generational curses. So I want to get right into, I'm going to go into some. Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Chhavi Zaine, and I didn't really know what to do with it because I did not have this channel at that time. And I expressed it on Facebook actually, and it was completely crickets. So I know people was looking at me as if, okay, this woman she's lost her mind, right? Of course, those of you who are familiar with the awakening, you know that when we start to see things through our spiritual eyes, those who cannot see, everything sounds crazy to them. And so I kind of just let that, die out. And so I didn't do anything with that information until now. So as of yesterday, Elizabeth, who is considered the Queen of England, has passed away. And it actually reminded me of the wisdom that was given to me a year ago. So first I want to start off by saying I'm going to be pulling the cards. I'm going to be looking into my book, The 48 Laws of Power, to pick up on the energy of what this shift means. And I'm also going to be speaking first with you all in regards to this particular place out in, it's called the Tower of London. So the Tower of London, this particular place has ravens on the land. I want you all to go and look this up for yourself. Don't take my word for anything. Go look it up for yourself and use your own discernment. But this is what was revealed to me a year ago. So ravens are actually kept on the land, on this landmass called the Tower of London. It's actually a large building where many people stay. I think it's a lot of the guards there. They stay in that particular location. And so there are ravens that are actually kept on the land to protect the crown and Tower of London. And so it's to pretty much protect the rulership of London, okay? And they use these ravens, which many of you know are very, beautiful black birds, right? To protect the land. And so it says, if the ravens are lost or fly away, the crown will fall and Britain will fall with it. So there was always this paranoia that if any of the ravens were to fly away or to die on the land, especially if all of them were to disperse at the same time, then the nation itself, or the land,
That's a curse.
London, the crown, and Britain would actually fall. Okay, it would fall and they would lose their power. And so when this was revealed to me, I realized that they have been using these ravens as a way of practicing witchcraft in order to maintain their power structure. Okay, and I'm going to be getting off into a few things because I ended up watching Snow White. Many of you who are within my age group or even older remember the first version of Snow White. I want you all, when you get a chance, to go back and watch that movie, because there are very vital things that are within that particular movie that I see as a direct connection to this particular queen, Elizabeth, and the agenda that was surrounding the magic, the dark magic and spell work that they was doing in order to maintain their power. So it is said that these ravens have been captive since around 1660 during the reign of King Charles II. So they've had these things there for quite some time now. They've been keeping these ravens intentionally, strategically, capturing them, breeding them, and placing them on the land of London in order to maintain power. And so it's also said that, let me see, where did I have that at? It's also said that these particular ravens, okay, so this says the ravens are used for magic and protective qualities. Okay, this is what the ravens are there for: magic and protective qualities. So then you have to ask yourself, well, what magic are they doing? Why do they need to do magic for any reason, right? And how is a raven protecting their land? So this is what I have here. During executions, the ravens were brought in to dramatize the killings. So when they would execute people or behead them, they would bring the ravens in to dramatize the gory scene of executing someone. So to pretty much bring more fear and, I guess, to incite fear and to, create this illusion of power and authority with the ravens. And so the origin is believed to have begun with King Charles II, who requested, initially this particular King Charles II requested to have these ravens removed off of the land, largely because he had an issue with the droppings. So he would go out onto the landmass and walk about and find that there was too many droppings everywhere. So he actually put out, in order to have them removed. But he had with him an astronomer who he sought counsel from. Okay, this astronomer was like his right-hand man. And this astronomer's name was John Flamsteed. And this particular astronomer told him, no, don't kill the birds, do not remove them from the land, because if you do that, that will bring bad luck. And the moment that you kill the ravens, the crown of London will fall, and so will Britain. Every part of the power structure will come crumbling down if you get rid of these ravens. And so at the warning and instruction of his astronomer, John Flamsteed, Charles II, King Charles II, I have a hard time calling these people kings and queens because they are not, okay? But this particular King Charles II decided to take the advice of his astronomer, because at that point, I guess he had never failed him or sent him off. And so he told him, hey, this is a bad omen. If you do this, it's going to cause things to come falling down. And so he decided to keep them. And so from that point on, they have been breeding ravens. If some of them flew away and never came back, or if some of them died, they made sure that they kept more on the land. So they ended up coming up with the number 6. That's generally the number of ravens that they want to keep on this land mass. And so they always make sure that they have that particular number, okay? Now, there's also, I also have here that in 2003, Vladimir Putin, which is the president of Russia, right, visited and was shocked to hear one of the ravens who was named Thor. Now, y'all know that Thor is one of the European gods, right? I think he's like a Roman god or something like that. So this raven specifically, the raven's name was Thor. And when Putin visited, this raven was greeting them and saying things to them, saying good morning to him and all of his team that came in with him. Okay, so the raven was actually talking, right? Now, this part in particular is what drew me to what I'm getting ready to tell you about, is what drew me to the movie Snow White. So there is a particular, I guess, being is through the Welsh mythology, okay, by the name of Bran the Blessed. And Bran the Blessed was a giant, but was also considered the king of Britain, okay? Bran the Blessed, his skull, it is said that he placed an order out to have to be beheaded and to have his head buried in the last mass on the land of London. Okay, I'm having a hard time speaking for some reason. I guess they don't want this message getting out. But this particular Welsh mythology said that Bran the Blessed, who was the king of England but also a giant, right, put out an order to have himself beheaded and to have his head placed in the landmass of London in order to ensure that the area will always be secure and protected. So then you would say, okay, there is a skull that could potentially be buried in the land for the sake of protection. And Bran specifically, get this, Bran means raven, okay? So, yes, and this skull is supposed to be buried in London, facing the continent as a protective talisman against invasion. So it was placed there strategically to protect the land, but then Bran also means raven. And so this is where I believe that a large part of their desires to begin putting ravens on the land came through that as well, through this particular person's name of protection. And so then I started thinking, and I was like, you know, they tell you a lot of stories here. A lot of truth comes through these fairy tale movies and things like that, Disney movies, especially the ones that deal with like princesses and queens and kings and stuff like that. And so I decided to, you know, just kind of do a quick search to see what movie actually had ravens in it. And I was immediately drawn to Snow White. So I said, okay, well, let me sit down and watch Snow White tonight and see what comes from this. So as soon as the movie comes on, it starts off with Snow White, who's outside, you know, just la 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 singing and, you know, being jolly with nature and the animals and stuff like that. And the queen is overlooking her from the castle. She's looking down and she's giving her this evil, wicked look that says, I can't stand her. You know, she can't stand the love that she's exuding and the fact that she's connected to nature and the fact that she's beautiful and humble and all of these things, right? And so the queen decides to put out an order to have Snow White sent off into the wilderness. And once she gets to the wilderness, the order was to take her heart out and bring it back to her to pretty much verify that she was dead. Now, this particular queen had a pet in her castle with her, okay? And it was a raven. And when the movie first begins, this raven is sitting on a skull head, okay? The raven is sitting on a skull. So automatically I put two and two together because remember, Bran the Blessed, who was beheaded, right? This mythology or what, you know, and was placed in the landmass of London facing the continent for the sake of protection from invasion. And Bran also means raven. And then this movie comes on, and there's a raven sitting on top of this skull in the wicked queen's living quarters. It says a lot. So this wicked queen that was in Snow White was very dark. She was always working up her little brew, doing dark magic, specifically though against Snow White, who was the princess who would have been the next in line to take the throne upon the death of this so-called queen. Now, mind you, Snow White was not her actual daughter. This was her evil stepmother. So that means that, you know, by default, she ended up being underneath the care, so-called care, of this evil stepmother who did not want to see her take the throne, because she knew that Snow White would bring an energy of love and peace and balance to the world, while she brought in this very wicked and dark energy, largely because she was bitter, and she was very much so in her ego, wicked, and in her carnal nature. And so she put out the order to have Snow White killed. So fast forward, Snow White goes out into the wilderness, and the man who was supposed to kill her could not do it because the energy that she exuded was so full of love that he could not carry out the assignment. And so Snow White gets ran off further into the wilderness. Fear is what actually chased her further into the wilderness, and she started seeing all of these different faces in the trees, but everything was scaring her at this point. She went from having this connection to nature to being scared of everything around her. In that moment of fear, it chased her further into the wilderness, but she landed exactly where she was supposed to be. And when she got there, the animals began to come in and assist her because she had already created that divine connection with them. She exuded the energy of love. From this point, the 7 dwarves, if y'all remember the 7 dwarves, the only thing they knew how to do was work. And the thing was, when I watched the movie, I was like, wow, they was mining for diamonds and crystals, you know, when they first started showing them. And so they're out there, you know, mining these jewels, okay? And that's the only thing that they know how to do, because when Snow White gets into the house, she's like, wow, it's just filthy in here. Now, what I immediately picked up on in terms of the 7 dwarves is that it actually stands for the distorted masculine energy, because all of the dwarves were all males, right? And each dwarf had his own personality traits. One was angry, one was a doc, you know, he had a lot of wisdom, but he was easily influenced and shook up by the one that was angry, right? And then you had sleepy, and then you had, you know, different ones. So I feel like each one of them, when I started looking at the colors that they was wearing, I did see like the spectrum of the chakra colors, you know. I was able to detect that, you know, between the shirt, the pants, and the little caps that they had on. So I immediately picked up on this was a fractured masculine energy. Mind you though, Snow White was also in a very feminine energy, but she was leaning so far into her feminine energy that she had no balance when it came to feminine and masculine energy. So she didn't know how to create those healthy boundaries or to stand up for herself or to speak up for herself. The only thing that she knew was love, nurturing, and things of that nature, but also very submissive and passive, too passive to where this evil queen was able to work against her, and to ultimately trick her into biting the apple. Now, one thing about Snow White though is that she stayed in this energy of dreaming and constantly fantasizing. She had met this prince, and this prince picked up on her energy. He heard her singing from far away, and he picked up on her energy, and they made this connection. That's what I wanted to get back to, because this queen, the only reason why she put out the order for Snow White to be killed was because as she stood overlooking Snow White from that window, she saw that this prince was drawn to Snow White, and she saw that connection. It was a divine union that had taken place there, and she did not want that divine union to actually carry through, where Snow White would be rescued and would ultimately be able to move on and live happily ever after with her divine masculine. And so she said, no, I'm going to put an end to this. I want her dead. But when the man could not carry out the mission, at that point she said, well, I'm going to take it upon myself. And so she turned herself into this old shriveled up lady, right? And she said, I'm going to go in and I'm going to play like I'm very innocent and I'm just this needy old lady, because she knew that Snow White was a natural nurturer and would, naturally welcome her in, because she just cared, that much, and was very naive at the same time. And so fast forward through all of this, the thing is, she did get Snow White to bite the apple and convince Snow White that if she bit this apple, she would receive everything that she had desired, her heart desired. And the only thing that Snow White wanted was her king. She wanted her prince by her side and to live happily ever after. And so she bit the apple, and the apple was to put her to sleep. Now, when the evil queen was brewing up or coming up with this particular potion, she had to read a book to come up with this potion. She also needed to know if there was an antidote to the potion. And so she said, no, I need to know this just in case. So she looked up the antidote. And the antidote was, if Snow White was to ever, the only way that Snow White could come out of sleep is if she is kissed, if she has love's first kiss, okay? Her love, true love's first kiss. So it would have to be her divine masculine that would come in and awaken her from sleep, okay? So I do feel that Snow White was sent in to heal the distorted masculine energy, the fractured masculine energy, which was in 7 parts. She had to nurture and heal and clean, because she had to show them how to cleanse themselves, take baths to cleanse their energy. She had to show them, she nurtured them, she fed them. And so it was that feminine energy that came in to heal the masculine of the 7 dwarves, because all they knew to do was work. They didn't do anything else but work. And so they was too much in their lower nature, but she came in and she shifted that. Even the most angry of the dwarfs ended up shifting the energy into love, and was, able to balance out his masculine and feminine towards the end. And so, of course, fast forward, she ended up biting the apple, falling asleep, and the prince came in. Well, first of all, the queen ended up killing herself. She tried to kill the dwarfs when they was trying to come after her to tackle her for what she had done to Snow White. And in that very moment, she was at the top of a mountain, at the very peak of this mountain, and she was getting ready to throw this huge boulder of rocks down the mountain towards the dwarfs to kill them. But instead, it rolled back onto her, and a bolt of lightning struck on her, bam, and she fell off the mountain. And from there, she got eaten by vultures. So she pretty much created her own death through her wickedness. And Snow White was under sleep, but she ended up being awakened by her divine masculine through his love. So it was almost like the 7 dwarfs represented the masculine that still needed the nurturing and the healing, so that ultimately, after Snow White, after the feminine energy had done her work, she could rest. But in her resting state, it would take for her masculine to come in order to awaken, and for the two to come together to
7 days of creation too,
and to take back the throne. So I know that was pretty lengthy, but when you go watch the movie, you'll understand. So what I'm picking up here is that the black magic that was being done with these ravens in London largely was targeted towards the divine unions. And because these divine unions would come together and reclaim the throne, king and queen, God and goddess coming in to balance out the masculine and feminine energy of the universe. This is what these people did not want. And so there has been a lot of wicked dark magic that I feel was taking place right there on that land through those ravens, using the energy of the ravens and other entities and demons to do spell work and to send out this energy of keep the divine masculine and feminine asleep and from coming together. And that way, in that energy, we maintain rulership, and they never come together to take back their throne or their position. There was a lot of wickedness that was happening there. And so now the lightning bolt has struck Y'all remember this? This lightning bolt just struck in front of the nation's capital. Okay, right in front of the White House. That lightning bolt, it was a symbolic of something, and I feel like it was telling these people and also alerting us that empires are getting ready to fall. People who was in those positions of power are getting ready to be put to death. This is only one, but y'all are going to be seeing it's going to be more. Okay, please believe it's getting ready to be more. There's a declaration that I would like for you all to do that I've already done myself in regards to I want to tell y'all this declaration first, because I know that I get long-winded and some of y'all are not going to stay until the end of this message. Okay, I want to tell y'all this declaration is a very short one, but this is to shift the energy of the ravens, because the Most High has given us dominion over all the creatures of the land, especially when you operate from a space of integrity. And so because they have been using these ravens, they really are strongly reliant upon these ravens. Okay, and I pulled the cards to see what would happen if these ravens was no longer on this land, and the tower came out 2 times. So I know that there is something to this. So this one is a declaration that you will write down and burn. It says, I declare and decree that the spell work, dark magic, and evil intentions conjured to secure Britain are now cast out and destroyed. Now I want to say to secure the United Kingdom and London. So I'm going to say this again. I declare and decree that the spell work, dark magic, evil, and I pulled the cards to see what would happen if these ravens was no longer on this land, and the tower came out 2 times. So I know that there is something to this. So this one is a declaration that you will write down and burn. It says, I declare and decree that the spell work, dark magic, and evil intentions conjured to secure Britain are now cast out and destroyed. Now I want to say to secure to secure the United Kingdom and London. So I'm going to say this again. I declare and decree that the spell work, dark magic, and evil intentions conjured to secure the United Kingdom and London are now cast out and destroyed. All dark energy of the ravens across the globe is now destroyed forever. More in spirit and in flesh. So I'm say it one more time just in case y'all didn't get it. I declare and decree that the spell work, dark magic, and evil intentions conjured to secure London and the UK, the United Kingdom, are now cast out and destroyed. All dark energy of the ravens across the globe is now destroyed forevermore in spirit and in flesh. So this is us stripping that dark energy from the ravens so that they can no longer use them as a tool to create a dark energy to maintain their kingdom, because they are strongly reliant upon these ravens. The moment one of them dies out, they're working vigorously to make sure that another one takes that one's place. So this is it's a big deal for these people, okay? And so then I would like for you all to light a candle, but specifically a black candle to represent the raven, which is a black bird. So a black candle, and you're going to get a black permanent marker. You want the candle to be encased in glass so that you can write on it. And so you're going to write, all ravens across the four corners of the globe vibrate the energy of love, peace, and light only, in spirit and in flesh. I would like for you all to light a candle, but specifically a black candle to represent the raven, which is a black bird. So a black candle, and you're going to get a black permanent marker. You want the candle to be encased in glass so that you can write on it. And so you're going to write, all ravens across the four corners of the globe vibrate the energy of love, peace, and light only, in spirit and in flesh. And you let that candle burn through in a safe place, of course, right? And so that's what I'm suggesting that you do. Let me read that part again. On the candle, you're going to write, all ravens across the four corners of the globe vibrate the energy of love, peace, and light only, in spirit and in flesh. Okay? So for those of you that are doing that with me, thank you. For those of you that put it in the description box or the comments, thank you. I appreciate y'all. I love you. So now I want to move off into, because I know this is a little bit lengthy, I want to see, once the ravens are no longer on the land, once the ravens are, let me just say that the ravens are no longer projecting or vibrating the energy of wickedness and darkness to assist them in their spell work. Look at what I'm cutting the deck here at the world and the emperor. The emperor deals with empires, okay? The emperor is the head of empires. The world is here. This indicates the closing of a cycle, a chapter coming to an end, a completion of something here, okay? What is the energy once the ravens across the four corners of the globe is vibrating the energy of love and peace and light only, okay? How is that going to look for the UK? Look at that. They're blocked. No forward movement is coming out. The Eight of Wands in the reverse and the Two of Swords is here, okay? This is a blocked energy here, okay? This is a blocked energy for these people. So let me just see. We're going to keep pulling and see here. What is the energy? Okay? So it looks like bad karmic energy is coming in, okay? Because this is strength right here. We regain our strength again, because that was the whole point of this situation. That was the whole point of them doing the spell work and the dark magic, was to maintain their power. So it was all about overpowering everyone else in order to be in this position of authority, and to ensure that no foreign invaders would be able to come in, right? And so the Queen is in the reverse. Queen of Cups is in the reverse, and so is the Wheel of Fortune. Star card is in the reverse. So there is no hope, no wish fulfillment, and they are going to deal with some heavy karmic cycles now because of what they was doing. This was all darkness, y'all. And these people, they was doing it right in front of the world's faces, right up underneath your noses. They've been had these birds out there, these ravens out there, but nobody questioned, well, why are they here? What is the whole purpose, and why do you have to make sure that you maintain a certain number of ravens on this land? Nobody questioned it. At least I didn't. If you question it, please leave a comment down below so that I can know that you actually paid attention or noticed these things. Because when it was brought to me, it blew my mind. Look at that, the Three of Swords. Look at this. Look at what's peeking out here. The Ten of Swords. These people are in trouble, okay? Once they don't have the ability to use the things that the Most High created at their disposal for their wicked plans and agendas, specifically these ravens, their whole empire falls. The astronomer told this to so-called King Charles II way back in 1660, okay? He warned him. And so underneath the advice of his right-hand man, who was able to look at the stars, an astronomer, this is somebody who was able to tap into energy. He knew, what consequences they would face if they did not continue in this witchcraft in order to maintain their throne. And so he told them, keep the birds here. You get rid of the birds, it's over with. They buried the head of this brand, whoever this is, brand the blessed, facing the continent to ensure that nothing would be invaded. And again, brand stands for raven. You go and look at the movie Snow White. The queen had a raven sitting on top of a skull, and all she did was work in darkness and in wickedness. And so when you think about, well, why was they doing this? It was to prevent the divine masculine and feminine unions from coming together, because that is the true royal family, okay? And so they needed to maintain this facade. They needed to be the fairest of them all, okay? And so in order to do that, they had to bedazzle and to fool the people into thinking, oh, that is the royal family. There is none other. There's none like them. They are the most powerful of all royal families, but you had to do spell work in order to convince the world that this was the case. Once the spell is lifted, then everybody sees exactly who and what you are. And so this is where we step in, because we already had that divine connection to nature, to the animals, to the elements, to the Most High God, to our spiritual team and our ancestors. We have that divine connection to where we put that energy out there that, no, we ain't got to kill off the ravens, because the ravens is not the problem. It's the energy that they projected off onto the ravens to use to create their
look in the sock basket in the room.
And so because we have been granted the authority, to use our authority to shift the energy when it comes to all of the Most High's creations, including ourselves, we say we're going to shift the energy of the ravens. We're going to do our declaration to cast out that dark energy from them, and we're going to light our candle to shift it so that they only vibrate love, light, and peace. So now what are you going to do? because you're so heavily reliant on these ravens to do your dark magic and witchcraft, so much so that you put it in movies for the world to see, right up underneath your noses. Because the thing is, the enemy cannot hide everything. They have to give a little bit of what's going on in order to, it's almost like
A balance.
if we show them what's happening and they still don't see it, they still don't put two and two together, that's not our fault. You know, that's your bad for not picking up on it. And so we gave you the opportunity to know. That way it's your free will. You are pretty much telling us that what we're doing is okay because we told you through Snow White. You knew it was ravens sitting out there in that yard and that we've been maintaining them things for years now, over 200 years. You knew that, 400, however long that is, 1660 up until now. You knew that that was happening, right? And so because you was aware of this and you never said anything, we told you through Snow White. We told you we had a skull here. We told you that the ravens was going to be there and that we had to keep a certain number of them. And yeah, we put the message out there because when the ravens would get lost, they would have people from the community that would bring them back. So they knew the importance. This was not just, a trend or just, some little pets to have flying around. No, they was doing dark magic. And they had to tell you through something in order to get your permission. And so this is what these people have been doing. So the overall outcome of where things are getting ready to go for the UK, for London, oh my goodness, it ain't a game. Y'all see that? It ain't no game out here. Okay? The Ten of Swords is a very, very painful ending because of all of the darkness that these people have operated from. These people have done all types of, I'm picking up on all types of spell work and witchcraft. I'm talking about sacrifices, blood sacrifices. A lot of people say, the reptilians and the shape-shifting energy, when you look at certain of these so-called rulers of, the royal family, this thing has been dark and it has been wicked as hell for a long time. And so this is the ultimate. This is where they are headed as a result of what they've been doing. So, yeah, things are getting ready to be real off balanced over there. They're going to have a hard time with the shift that's getting ready to take place here. It's going to be some waves that they're going to have to face here, and I don't think they're going to be emotionally prepared for it because they don't have any divine protection. There's no divine protection for these people because of the things that they have done. It's getting ready to be real heavy, very burdensome. It's going to be real hard for them to carry these burdens because you reap what you sow.
Karmic.
You can't go around here. You ain't got no love in your heart. You offering the world false love, a false perception of who you really are. I guess they figure, oh, she's just a little old cute lady that's just so sweet. Now behind closed doors that was brewing up some stuff.
Yeah, tell them, man.
Okay,
yeah.
With an intention to block and to stay on top. Okay, I'm going to protect my position as the royal family at all costs,
they know you supposed to be sitting up.
Bloodshed. Betrayal.
They know I'm supposed to be sitting up.
I'm bloodthirsty for this position, and no one is going to stop me. Okay? And so yes, they was doing it all behind the scenes. They was doing it all. Okay? But now with the sun coming out, the truth is being revealed. Nothing can be hidden. When the sun comes out, that means nothing. Look at that, 2 times. Nothing can be hidden. That's double confirmation. The truth is right there in front of your face. When the sun is illuminating something, the sun outpowers any darkness.
And we had to
in your face. The
they blew one out the sky.
Has been revealed in regards to what these people was doing. So I'm gonna take one more card here. Well, I got 2. Look at this. We got the 7 of Cups and the 8 of Swords being set free. Okay, with those of us who was affected, other nations of people. Because believe me, they had a specific targeted group of who they wanted to keep down, the true royal family.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, the true royal family. But with the 7 of Cups, that illusion, we're coming up out of that. We're coming up out of that, okay? And so, no longer in these chains, no longer chained and bound, okay, to the confusion and the illusions that was being created. So let me just pull one message. Hold on, baby. One message. from my book here. And so the 48 laws of power, I just want to see, now that these changes have taken place, certain people of rulership have now expired, we are doing the work to shift the energy for the ravens all across the globe so that they're now only projecting love, light, and peace. What do we need to know at this point? What's the message here? Okay. Now, I think if y'all recall back a while back, I ended up coming across this message here about the cat's paw. So I'm going to read this right here because this is what's standing out in red. The cat's paw. It has long claws to grab things. It is soft and padded. Take hold of the cat and use its paw to pluck things out of the fire. To claw your enemy, to play with the mouse before devouring it. Sometimes you hurt the cat, but most often it doesn't feel a thing. So in the past, when I ended up reading this message, oh my God, hold up, wait, listen, let me put this book real close. I don't even know if y'all gonna be able to see this. I'm looking up, y'all, and this literally says Queen Elizabeth up here, right here. Let me, oh my goodness.
She just picked that page,
I surely can't tell. It literally says Queen Elizabeth right there.
Let's go.
Right there where my finger is at. What the heck is going on? Let me see this.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Finally, you may well find cases in which deliberately offering yourself as the cat's paw will ultimately gain you great power. This is the ruse of the perfect courtier. It is a symbol of Sir Walter Raleigh, who once placed his own cloak on the muddy ground so that Queen Elizabeth would not sully her shoes. As the instrument that protects a master or peer from unpleasantness or danger, you gain immense respect, which sooner or later will pay dividends. And remember, if you can make your assistant subtle and gracious rather than boastful and burdensome, your recompense will be that much more satisfying and powerful. Y'all, this is tripping me out. Okay, I do these readings a lot, but this is tripping me out. I mean, what's the odds that I'm going through this book? This book has over 500 pages, and I turned right to the page that speaks about Queen Elizabeth, and that's what the hell we talking about? Listen, the Most High is speaking. I don't care what anybody say about the work that I do. Folks got it twisted over here. Listen, so do everything pleasant yourself, everything unpleasant through third parties. By adopting the first course, you win favor. By taking the second, you deflect ill will. Important affairs often require rewards and punishments. Let only the good come from you and the evil from others. So the cat's paw deals with using others to do your dirty work, and you coming off to the world as being the innocent party, the do-gooder. Okay, and so that's what I was telling you all about the little old sweet lady, when in fact behind closed doors there's been a whole lot of wickedness that's been going on behind the scenes, but they needed to have a face that would fool the masses into thinking that everything that they was doing was of honor and integrity. They was using the cat's paw to get away with it, having someone else get burnt and to do the dirty work while they came out looking and appearing clean. Okay, but behind the scenes, blood is on their hands. And so this is why the cards that I pulled came out to show you all this. This is not a game. Do the declaration, y'all. We got to do this thing in numbers. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. Y'all, the watchmen that's out there, keep me posted on things that's coming through, because I'm telling you, this right here, that was amazing for me. That was that was amazing for me, that it goes right into speaking about the same person that this whole message is in regards to. So listen, They did the dirty work behind the scenes. They created an illusion for the world. And so now that we have shifted things, the fact of the matter is we got the sun coming out 2 times. Everything is illuminated. Now we see clearly. Our spiritual eyes are clearly open. And so when your spiritual eyes are open to what is happening concerning the spiritual warfare, then you're able to have a fair fight. And what happens? Honesty, integrity, love, and compassion always wins. The Most High, the holy angels, the Holy Spirit, our ancestors of love and light, Yeshua, always wins. Okay? We win. And so that's what happened in Snow White. They ended up taking back their throne. The divine masculine and feminine came together. The wicked queen died. The lightning strike was symbolic of her losing her life. And that's all I'm going to say, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. I'm tripped out. I got to go back and watch this. But I love you all. And if you want a private reading from me, just email me. If you want to order my body or hair oils, email me. And I will talk to you all next time.
Man, that's like how that's what was happening when I was on the
Let me
deck
ask
with
you a
Ant.
question.
Ant will be talking and he say like when you do things, well, like when you talking and you trying to prove a point, if you honest and sincere and Most High is operating through you, if you do flip through a book like that, you are expecting to find something that's gonna be in relation to what it is that you're talking about, because it's put on your spirit to even have it right there. Yeah, that's what he was. That's what he was showing me. Like when I told him show me everything, like he know like how to do that. Like he was doing it. I started doing it. Then law of attraction started coming up. I was like, man, he was like, yeah. He was like, yo, wait. He like all of your words go out and return to you with the purpose you sent them out to accomplish. He's like, don't be saying nothing that you won't mean. And then to take it a step further, he was like, you don't need to be even thinking nothing that you don't mean, because you that powerful that your thoughts is gonna return to you with your thoughts is a form of creation. But when you speak it, you amplify the creation. When you think it, you beginning it. But when you start speaking on it, you casting it out. Yeah, you casting it out to come back. It's gonna come back. I declare and decree that the spell work, dark magic, and evil intentions conjured to secure Britain, England, Rome, the Vikings, the police, and the judges, and the serpents, London, and the UK are now cast out and destroyed. All dark energy of the ravens across the globe is now destroyed forevermore in spirit and in flesh. All ravens across the 4 corners of the globe vibrate the energy of love and peace only by Montez. And so it is. Abracadabra. And then I was like outside while she get to talking about ravens, I just get to seeing birds out the window like they was lined up across the line right here. I'm like, what? Ain't nobody gonna really believe that. Let me get my camera. I'll take a picture, get a recording, go and get her. Look, see all these birds? Now they gone. The video, they gone. Now, before I started that video, them birds was naive. If they wasn't out there, I was sitting right here. Wasn't no birds in the tree. That's why I keep looking like in the tree. And on these cable lines right here. Wasn't no birds. She get to talking about ravens. Now I get to seeing black birds filling it up that tree right there. And laying on, I look down for a minute. I get to look up. All I see is birds laying outside on the lines. So when I'm hearing her talk and I'm seeing birds just fly out of nowhere, like it been raining here all day. I've been outside today. went to the gas station. Come back. I ain't see no birds outside. So now I've been up and down, up and down, up and down all day. This window right here, no birds. When this video come on, then it's birds. I can see birds and shit. Black birds look like ravens too. I don't want to say that they was. They was black though, black birds. I think they was. Some of them was probably ravens, but not all of them. Probably I say that. But yeah, man, that was confirmation. Like she said. I'm finna tell her too. Something like that you gotta share with them. Yeah, I'm recording this. Man, I can look up, I'm like, damn, like, look at the birds just lined up right there. I'm like, what? I get to look and I see them all in the trees. Oh, what? You can't even see it from the, try to see how you can see it from the thing. Cause I don't already grab my iPhone, so I see. So I'm sitting down. Here. So while the video playing, I can see up like that. So I see the cable lines, and I see the tree that's full of bird. Like look like they like some of them probably could. I'm damn. That's what was going on the deck with Ant. While you speaking things manifesting instantly. That's a good example of, because now they gone. It's not one bird out there, and I got my iPhone right here. I got my iPhone right here. Them birds. When that video was on and she was talking about them birds, I'm like, niggas ain't gonna believe this. They was a line. Hey, look. First of all, nigga, let's go ahead to the information, right? This same day, same time, I'm even recording this video right here. Hold on, cause you see, January 27th to the 3:50. It's 4:18 right now. I just did this. This ain't no made up shit, man. You see them right there. That lady got to talk about them videos, man. She got to talk about them birds. Them birds came out of nowhere, man. Them birds came out of nowhere. I grabbed my phone. Niggas ain't even gonna believe me. I grabbed my phone so I can show you. They in the yard. They wasn't even just out there. They was just out there. When her video, see, that's her. When her video came on, them birds came out of nowhere, man. And now they gone. Her video off, they gone. Her video, I just sent her a message on here. I'm like, hey, shit, why you was just talking about that? That's the same thing what was going on with me and Aunt when we was in the jail. He'll be saying something or I'll be saying something and be like, hey, that shit on TV right now, fool. Like, damn. I remember one time that shit happened. Aunt got up and ran around the whole day room, man. It was something he was trying to beat this case. He was like, in his dreams, he could see what's gonna happen in his case, but it was some stuff like he was still like didn't understand the shit about it. And as he was talking to me about his case, some shit that he was seeing in his dream, he was like, man, there's something about some salt, like some kind of salt or something. Like I don't get, and I'm listening to him, but I'm looking at the day room TV. I'm like, and he like, what? He like, whatever. I'm like, whatever you talking about right now about some salt. Look at the TV. It was a commercial. It was one of them, the salt that come in the blue thing with the she got a yellow water, like water, park it with an umbrella. And they was pouring out salt on the table in the commercial. So he was like, something about salt. And I'm like, Aunt, whatever you talking about right now, look at when he followed my finger like this, he was like, when he looked at the TV, he got up, he ran around the day room. He was happy as hell. I don't know what that confirmed for him, but I know it was all type of shit that was going on when I was on the deck with Aunt, though, like that. He was telling you shit that's gonna happen, like with certain cells though. Like he'll tell you like this what's gonna happen with this cell. Woo, 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 woo. And because it was me and there was another little young brother that was already on the deck that was fucking with Ant before I got there. And he was trying to raise his consciousness, but Shorty was he was gang banging heavy, so he had ops in there, so he couldn't really elevate his frequency like that without being pulled right back into the folly because gang members, like gang members, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfucker come in on the new, you trying to be on your righteous shit, they come in on the new from the street, they know you ass Lil Gunner. They expecting to see Lil Gunner in jail. They not expecting to see no, I'm changed my, and that's gonna drop your vibration tremendously. And that's what Shorty was dealing with. So Shorty chose, like he really chose to stand on his business in the streets rather than ascend his vibration. So he met his fate, and Shorty know, like we had got to the point where we know like what's gonna come out of Ant mouth. Like be careful, fam, because that shit is true. Like so if he sit here and say like a nigga going home tomorrow, we ain't had no reason to doubt him because everything that the man was saying, we was in jail watching that shit happen. Like just and all, but he was teaching us how to do it for ourselves though. He wasn't on no, oh yeah, like he like with having some kind of powers like that in jail, nigga. Like you could really exploit that, nigga. You could charge niggas for all type, but he wasn't doing that. He always get glory to the Father, and say like yeah, like everything through the Creator. You know what I'm saying? I always give recognition to the Creator because you wouldn't be nothing without it. So he drilled that in me. You know what I mean? And so I mean, I done told motherfuckers about the dreams. I was astral traveling. At that time, I was in a relationship. The person that I was in a relationship with, I saw them in dreams. They couldn't see me. Family members. Other than the dreams was a major source of helping me to accept awakening though, because when you experience phenomenal things, it has a different effect on you than somebody telling you about what they experience. You can listen, it'll sound great, but you like, okay, I ain't got nothing to compare that experience with, so I hear you, but it ain't really resonating with soul like that. So when it come to me, the things that I didn't experience on this spiritual journey is enough for me to know that it's more out here that we wasn't taught. Because just based on the things that I've experienced firsthand. So I don't need nobody trying to convince me of believing this shit when I know it's something greater out here because I'm tapped into it. I was shown how to do it. Now, it might even be more levels of knowledge that I gotta access, but at this point, I never met nobody in a church that was doing the things that I saw Ant doing in jail. And he was Ant is a spiritual warrior. Because if you see him on the street, you wouldn't even think he knows the type of esoteric knowledge that he got. You wouldn't even know it unless he chose to reveal it to you, like how he did me. You wouldn't even know it. And afterward, that's when I started to understand some of those looks that his ass used to give to me. He's just and he'll be looking like with that, yeah, I know, look, and I'm already knowing I can't hide shit from you. This man told me I smacked somebody with a pistol, and he was in the cell when that happened, and I got locked up. Yeah, so when something like that happened to you, it tends to have a different kind of effect on somebody telling you it happened to them. This some shit I experienced. Can't no motherfucker tell me I'm lying about some shit I experienced. That man really walking on this earth doing that shit. And the thing what's so crazy is after me and him separated, went our separate ways in the county jail, like my dreams and all that shit that was going on, that shit started to go down. Like it started to fade. Like, and then I ended up getting right back on some gangbang shit. I got right back on some ego shit. I got right back on that. So I think might have seen them like 2 times after that. Like, I'm in this line, I'm finna go to the law library, and he in that line, he coming back from the barbershop. We can't do that much building, but I seen them like 2 times after we had got separated, tried to send some kites to his deck and his tier or whatever to him or whatever. But we eventually end up losing contact. So this was around 2016, 2015. I ain't talked to him years. So I get released on parole. It's 2019, June 22nd, 2019. I get released. I come home on parole. One of the first people I look for, Anthony Whaley. His mama got a book out there, Joyce Whaley. I think the name of her book, like words, command over words, or the power of words, or some shit like that. But it's pretty much letting you know the power of your words to create your reality. That's basically what the book about. And yeah, so I always knew I could always find him because his mama a famous author. She got that book, so I look her up and find out where he at. So I end up looking her up, and on Facebook I had sent her some messages asking about her son. She never responded. But I also have found Anthony on Facebook. So the first times that I was trying to get in tune with him on Facebook, he didn't accept the friend request for a long time. And I had deleted the friend request after so long. I had deleted it. And then after that, after I deleted it, some more time had went by, like some months had went by, possibly a year, I don't know, but it was some time that had went by, and I'm like, man, get in tune with Ant, this was my spirit telling me, get in tune with Ant, and just get in tune with him, right? So I sent him another request, and this time like an error code pop up, some type of error code or some shit. It was like 115. It was either 115 or 155 or some shit. So I think it was 115. So I do one of these, Cause I'm knowing how Ant is. This could be one of his responses right here. So I look up the angel number 115, and the angel number, the message was like basically everything in the past, like leave it in the past. You know what I'm saying? Like learn how to let go and grow past whatever it is you holding on to. And so a part of me feeling like Ant don't want me to get in tune with him, and this was his way of telling me that, or somebody hijacking our communication and they don't want us getting in tune with each other. Okay, so after that error code, I had fell back. I'm like, all right, I guess he trying to tell me like he ain't trying to chop it up or whatever. So I leave it alone. Then after that, like more time passed, like months passed. I go back and he accept the friend request this time. So I'm geeked. We on the others and we ain't locked up no more. You feel me? So we never talked on the phone. We just talked through Messenger. You know what I mean? And matter of fact, we talked through Messenger. And that was Ant, right? Alright, like, cause I had made a recording, me and his conversation, cause we had picked up right where we left off at. Is picked up right where he got a way of teaching without seeming like he really teaching you, but you learn it though. It's weird, but it's and this is it right here. I'm trying to see which one is now active 4 hours ago. I'm trying to see which one can you helped me out a lot in jail, but by the time we parted ways I had a different walk. Alright, 2:35 active 4 hours ago. I'm trying to see which one of these videos start at the beginning of our dialogue. This was May 23rd, 10:43. This one is May 23rd, 12:14. So 12:14, 10:43, 8, 12. So it say, what the word, bro? He say, what the word? I say, peace and greetings, family. Hold on, pause it down. You steady want to keep on going. I don't know how to work this shit. He say, what the word? I say, peace and greetings, family. Peace, bro. Tell me something good. Just up in the lab, creating some designs. She was doing art when we was in the jail. So he love art like how I love art. That's how he expressed himself. So we connected on that level too. Like his art is like, man, he's really like. And he came home and got a studio and he do art. He do t-shirts and shit. So just leaving work and ran out of gas on the E-way. I'm trying to figure out what these signs mean. This is what I'm telling him. I say every time I work for someone else, my stuff get taken or something like this happen. I'm feeling like it mean I don't supposed to be working for them. He say, where you working? I tell him Premier in University Park. What type of work is that? Forklift. It's is what I do. It's a transport company. He say, oh, okay. Then he say, oftentimes conductors of such huge energies like yourself potentially have to dial down some of your glow in order to coexist in the workplace environments. He said, I call it shading your glow. The average person in the matrix find it hard to digest your aura, and along with curiosity comes those trying and potentially envious spirits. So I said, somebody hating on me and it has effect on my transportation. He said, you listed other things that have happened as well. Without knowing the full scope of your everyday, I just gave you the potential cause of any untimely infractions that might come your way. So basically what he's saying is, like, he done already, because he already done taught me your thoughts have repercussions. So if you send out a thought without intent, the repercussions is going to be like a wild, crazy ass kind of response that you're going to get from that thought, versus you sending your thoughts with intent is going to come back to you with what you sending it out to do. So he's saying, like, basically, like, he don't know what I'm doing every day that's going to cause something like me to be feeling the way I'm feeling, just based on what he's saying, that based on what I'm telling him so far. He just gave me like a little synopsis of what it could be from what he know as of right now. So basically he's saying you listen. Okay, so he's saying you listen to other things. And then I responded to he said, all the time conductors of such huge energy. I said, about 60 days ago, leaving this same job, I had an accident that nearly changed my form. That was this accident right here. My lip was split in half and my teeth got cracked. I had an accident in that Cadillac. I hit black ice on Klein Avenue, coming back from work. So I was on my way home then. I say I can feel people energy, like what Neil say about the Sentinels. I can feel that shit pouring off of them. So I about know who's behind this. Then he say, whatever happens in the inside of a person is directly reflected outside of them in their environment. He said, you're a complex being with a really simple message that comes off as offensive to an environment who don't know how to reflect back that same energy. Then he say, this is what made, quote, Jesus, end quote, speak to some crowds of people in parables. And we talked about that in jail too. The parables. Because if it's for you, it's for you. You're going to understand it. And if it ain't for you, you ain't going to understand it. So if you want to understand it, it'll be there for you to search. But if you don't do the search, that means you don't want it. So period. Point blank. That's what it is. So he's saying, like, he understood that his simple yet complex message would go over the heads of the multitude he was speaking to. So their curiosity and the demons that travel along with the curiosity will first have to battle the message before it even physically manifested, to possibly attempt to harm the messenger. Then he said Neo denied being the one before accepting the role. It would have been a different story had he embraced it from the beginning. And then I said he denied it because he had doubts So the spirit was giving him the energy to doubt with, or feeding that energy. And then he said, only you know the answer to your internal equation that is figuring this out. And then I said, I have to figure out how to suppress the fears and concerns and thoughts arising from situations I end up in. And automobiles is usually about the police or car troubles. Then he said, seems like the reason for you to take a vow of limited silence. She said in her video, the other video, she said, yo, silence killing them. Then he say thought, word, and act all day to regain and refocus your inner dwelling. Then he sent this. Oh, well, I can't play it because this is a screen recording. But he sent the video. He said, me on my way to piss people off by just existing. So then he sent me a video. So then I said, thanks. I always cherished your insight. Hold on, damn, you going fast here. He sent a reel by Eddie on Facebook. And I asked him, I'm like, do you drive? He said, that's one of the privileges I gave up for the season so that I can fully get in tune with self. Then I said, oh, so you're aware of the uninvited thoughts that occur. It's like the inevitable, like in the Matrix. He said, I'm not sure I understand what you wrote. Then I told him, hold on, give me 5 minutes. So at 4:14, it's at 4:14 a.m. I tell him, I say, okay, while driving, due to the past experiences with automobiles, whether it's police or car problems, one can't help but take these things into consideration while driving. Like, you have to see a stop sign and you stop because internally one knows if the police see it, then they on you. They get up on your ass. So another example, if your engine light is on, then in your mind trying to figure out all the many possibilities of why it's on and what's wrong. These are thoughts that surface even when they're not wanted. Right? That's what I tell them. So he say, he say, whatever happens inside. Then I say, so it all boils down to this. Then whatever happens in the inside of a person is directly reflected outside of them in their environment. And he said, I understand why. He probably meant what? He probably meant what? I understand, but he got why right here. But I understand why you are saying your entire day should be surrounded by internal confirmations that only make sense to you externally. That confidence shifts your entire environment to aid in fulfilling your purpose. There is no thought that should surface that will cause a repeat of outward chaos. So basically what he's telling me right there is he's saying there ain't no reason why you should doubt yourself at this point. Especially after sitting with me and learning from me. If you allowing the thoughts to take form in your mind, then you can't also have a complaint about that. Because you got the power to change the thought. That's what he's saying right there. And if you don't change the thought, then it's gonna cause outward chaos, which is an energy cycle that most of us tend to end up in. Sometimes we call that shit stress. Sometimes, other times we call it depression, etc. So then, after he say that, when I tell him like it, so it all boiled down to this, what you said already. Then he like, yeah, that's facts. He like, that's facts, yeah, that's what it boiled down to. So I say, oh, so it's my scary ass sending those vibrations out and creating those realities. I ain't put that. I put so it's my scary ass sending those vibrations out, like law of attraction. And then I'm shaking my head, damn, cause this is what he did in jail. He just had conversations with me to help me come to the realization of the answers that I already got. But the way he teach, he provoked thought for me. And in those thoughts, I'm able to, oh, so this is what you mean. And he like, you got it. So if you got it, ain't no reason why you should be having thoughts that you gotta complain about in your day. I love the way he teach too, cause it's like, it's relatable. It ain't no, and God saith thou. Nah, he talking to me like, yeah, nigga, like, you feel me? Like, I can relate to that. So, and then he say, exactly. Period. He like, exactly. So it's my scary ass sending those vibrations out. Yeah. And after you fully digest that one, that true fact, you realize that there is nothing that no one around you can do to throw you off balance. It only can be allowed by self. Man, I love bro, man. He was waking me up in jail when we came home, man. This was just May 23, 2023. It's 4:49 right now. So he accepted a friend, and so this is the conversation that we had started out with. And he say, only you know the answer to your internal equation. And then he say, and just like that, you figured it out. He got a way of making you feel like you already know the answers. Like, why you just had me do all this and you know it already. But also at the same time, he like, I get why we had to do this, because you had to remember it. And your thoughts should have purpose. So this is what he telling me. Your thoughts should have purpose, and therefore your acts will be accomplished. That's a quote from James Allen. Mind is the master. Then I say, I'm supposed to be rebuke those thoughts that don't have purpose. That's in a purpose-driven life. And I said, thanks. I needed that. So I'm out of balance then. Then he said, no problem. Every thought and word in you has active energy attached to it. That's emotion. Active energy. So no matter how long ago it happened or hasn't happened yet, it's alive and actively evolving like Goku spirit bomb. It's up to you to control that energy. Past, present, and future. are alive and active in every thought and word, and all of our daily dealings are building on top of that, from brushing your teeth to driving. If you're thinking bad or wavering spirit over a issue and go along about your day, just know that you are building a tower on sand. And then I told him, the double-minded man. And he finished that. He said, is unstable in all his ways. Because that was one of his lessons that he was giving to me while we was in the jail cells. A double-minded man can't be stable in all his ways. So you can't expect to get the reality that you're trying to create if you also doubting it. And then I said, the great Anthony Whaley says the bait and switch. Then I put the laughing emoji and the little arm, the little arm emoji, the little strong arm emoji. And he laughed at that. And then I said, you helped me out a lot in jail. By the time we parted ways, I had a different walk. Seems like it faded just a little. But you just helped me realize that I'm double-minded because of frequency I keep allowing in. So I need to do a power wash to get back grounded. And he said, hold on, see what he said, hold on. He said, indeed. He says, you in your own way. And then I said, and now I understand why. And then he wrote, death, chaos, accidents, infidelity, etc., are all allowances. They only occur when self puts self in a situation that is single-handedly spoken into existence. And when that negative energy physically manifests, self doesn't recognize its own reflection. Whole time it was a seed that was cast into the ethers by self. A case of mistaken identity on purpose. Damn. And then I told him, I'm like, I don't think it even has to be spoken. Thinking is enough, like contemplating, because feelings attached to thought. He said thought is the first words. Telepathy starts here. And then he sent me a Google search of the definition of telepathy. The supposed communication of thoughts or ideas by means other than the known senses. He'll always read something to me like that, like put emphasis on words that we'll otherwise overlook to drive his point home to me. And I'm glad he did it like that, because it make me pay attention to all words. Because he said all known senses, the opposite of what's known would be unknown. So if you got known senses, then chances are you have unknown senses. And then he'll be like, chances are you need to get in tune with the side of you that is unknown. My good brother. Funny ass. And then so that's the end of that recording, right? Now this other recording say you helped me out of jail a lot, right? Yeah, then right here you say you in your own way. Boom, 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 boom. I don't even think it has to be spoken. Boom, boom. He sent me the definition of celebrity. And then I say, what the fuck is unknown senses then? Oh, see, what I just said. What the fuck is unknown senses then? Laughing. And then he respond with a laughing emoji. He say, they strategically teach 5 senses, but the truth is there are no senses. Only understanding. If there were 5 senses, then balance would have to be on the list. And then I said, I responded to, he said, thought is the first words, telepathy starts here. So I said, in the beginning was the word. And the word was with God. And it was good. And then I put a little emoji, like the little funny ass mustache, thick ass eyebrows with the glasses. And then I say, so when the word leaves God, the mind, it has the potential to be other than good, basically. And then he said, I don't rest until I have concluded every thought. Then he say, people think and cast visions, which is thoughts, all day. Then he say, abracadabra is I create what I speak. We talked about that in the jail too all the time. Abracadabra, I create what I speak. Yeah, so then he say, therefore, as all those thoughts and possibilities are constantly being sent out and questioned by self all day, one has to know his desired conclusion. Ooh. He said one has to know his desired conclusion for every thought. Then he say, whether it seems plausible or not, one has to have his perspective open to an innumerable amount of conclusions. Then he say, naturally, we think about the best option first. One has to master all forms of thinking in this realm in which we coexist with other entities that challenge our thoughts and motives. Then he say the imagination is the most underrated ability. For example, we use other people who imaginations to fulfill our dreams. Case in point, there are 2 ways that we can say the word live. Our imagination bends reality to shape and suit our desired message and walk. You need to go back and reharness your imagination. It is only there that you will be able to see all perspectives of your thoughts. Everything and everyone you see in your dreams are different forms of you. The grass, the butterflies, the doors, etc., etc. This the same thing he used to drill into me when we was face to face in jail. He'll say the same thing. And he still haven't changed because he's saying the same thing now. So basically what he's saying is he don't even go to sleep until he just sat down and chased down every thought that he had and concluded it, meaning created his desired outcome for those specific thoughts. Now, in order to do something like that, you would have to make it easy on yourself, you would have to limit the amount of thoughts that you have in a day. Because if you don't, being able to chase down every single thought that you came up with in a 24-hour cycle, it'll probably take you a full week to chase down every thought. This man said he don't go to sleep until he did that. Most people can't even fathom the thought of that. They'll hear this and won't even understand it. He telling you he don't even go to sleep until he do it. Because if you let it run wild, it's going to create realities for you that you don't want. So what he's saying is he sit his ass down and he craft the kind of reality that he want, and he do that in his mind. You don't let no thought escape you to create a reality for yourself that you don't want. In order to do that, you gotta get up on that energy. You gotta get up on that thought that you got and mend it. You gotta mend that can't into a can. You gotta mend that don't into a does. You gotta mend that don't know into knowledge. And you do all that in the mind. In the beginning was the word. Everything started with the word. You do that from the word. So that's why I was just saying, he was teaching me about the dreams. He brought it up right here. Everything and everyone you see in your dreams are different forms of you. He was helping me interpret my dreams when I was in jail. So I found him out. He ain't been locked back up. I'm still going through shit, but he ain't been locked back up. He doing t-shirts and art now. So me and him had this conversation over Messenger, and just this short conversation, he able to put me back on the mindset where I need to be at, where I was when I last saw him face to face. It had been at least a decade past since I last seen him. And just this short conversation, he able to put me back on my shit, like help me understand the error in my ways and how to go about moving forward at this point. It ain't about how you been doing shit wrong all this time. It's about, oh damn, I've been doing shit wrong all this time. Alright, well, how to do it right? Alright, well, now you take that right knowledge and you apply that immediately. You don't wait to apply right knowledge. Because if you condone the spell work, then you can't complain about the outcome that you having in life. So after he say that, he like, after the dream, he tell me about the dream. So shit, that's all I got. That was the last message. So that was about a 3-minute recording about me reaching out to somebody that helped me unlock my spiritual gifts and my spiritual knowledge, my spiritual awareness, my spiritual cognizance, my spiritual powers. He helped me do that. So can't no motherfucker try to come to me and try to convince me of something that I done experienced for myself. And I don't be out here trying to preach to niggas about what it is that I experienced. That's for me. That ain't even for everybody. But motherfuckers that need it, I got that tucked in my knowledge. I got that tucked that's in my power to be able to demonstrate to you, like, hey, look, like that's what just happened right now. Yeah, that's what just happened right now. When no some snacks, shit. Yeah, some snacks. Snacks in this bitch. That's what just happened when this woman video was on, man. Them birds came out of nowhere. I got my iPhone, I took pictures and I took a recording of that because I know niggas, for some reason, like they be in this, oh, that sounds too good to be true. Yeah, well, that's why I got the video to prove it. And I'll take a picture right now and show your ass they still gone. The birds is still gone. They not out here no more. They gone. When her video cut off, they was still sitting out there for about a minute, but they gone. They all gone. They was just in this tree, just on the lines. I got a video. Her video go off, And this was recording. This was recording the whole time. I ain't cut it off yet. It's been recording for going on 3 hours. Since I first started watching her videos, I was watching her other videos. She ain't said nothing about ravens. We click on the video about the queen being dead, and she get to talking about us claiming our royalty back, making this declaration right here, and then I look up and I see birds on the line out there. I see birds all in the tree, black birds. They look like ravens, like she said. I'm not sure. They look like, but they on that video. Because I think ravens are like a little longer than the birds that was just out there. They was like short birds, yellow beak, but they was black birds. They came out of nowhere. When she started talking about ravens, that's when the birds started gravitating toward this. And then I look up. Oh damn, they ass just sitting there, perfect line of they ass. 1, 2, 3. It's 3 cable lines out there. Oh, what? Oh yeah, all right. I go right for my phone, and this was recording the whole time. I go right for my phone because I know niggas ain't gonna believe. Since her video started, I was recording. I've been recording for 3 hours. Now the birds gone. Her video off, they gone. And when I looked up, because the cable lines are closer to the house than the tree is. The tree is across the street all the way. That, you know what I'm saying? It's a little further away from the house. So when I looked up, I'm down. Her vibration just basically just drawed them right here. Like they was sitting and listening to her. And I mean, man, bro, like now they gone. And the video out. So I'm like, shit like that, you don't need to, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm convinced. Fuck you mean? Like, this is something here enough to investigate, if nothing else. It's enough to investigate. Like, I'm about to send this video to her. When it's all over, it's it. Like, because I wonder if she's somebody that I need to have like this. I'm looking for somebody that's able to, they know what, she know what's going on. And that was confirmation for me. She pulled tarot cards to get confirmation. She flipped in the 48 laws to get confirmation. She go to biblical scriptures to get confirmation. And all of it's aligned with what her understanding is. What her